So today here we are going to cover natural vegetation and wildlife resources. However, we have already covered a detailed video regarding the topic land, soil, water. So there is a separate video available for this. So if you want to check that, you can check it out, that one also. Right now the last one topic, that is natural vegetation and wildlife resources, we are going to cover it combined, right? So let us start. So the first question is here, what is biosphere? The biosphere is the narrow zone of the earth where life exists. It includes parts of land, that is lithosphere, water, hydrosphere, air, atmosphere. Forests, river, mountains, oceans and even deserts, all where life can be found are part of the biosphere. So this is a narrow zone of the earth where life exists, and it includes lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere, right? So this is biosphere. So however, let me tell you, already the land, soil and water is also covered in question answer form, so that it may become easy for you to prepare for the examination also. So the last topic, natural vegetation and wildlife resources, is also covered in question answer form. Okay. So let us continue. The next one is, what is ecosystem? A ecosystem is a community of living organisms, that is plants, animals, human, etc., that interact with each other and with their non-living environment like soil, water, air, sunlight in a specific area. Then that system is called ecosystem. Okay. So here living organisms are interacting with each other, that is with their non-living environment like soil, water, air and sunlight in a specific area, and this system is known as ecosystem. Now, components of an ecosystem. So biotic and abiotic are the two components of an ecosystem. Where biotic we will find living things, that is plants, animals, microorganisms, whereas abiotic here we will find non-living things, that is water, soil, air, sunlight, temperature, right? So these two systems, living and non-living, are interacting with a specific area, and that is called as ecosystem. For example, a pond is an ecosystem. It has fish, plants, algae, they are living, and water, soil and sunlight, they are non-living. So all are interacting together, and together they form a specific ecosystem, right? So this is about the ecosystem. Now how plants and animals act as shelter belt. Plants and sometimes animals can naturally act as shelter belt by protecting the land, crops and soil from harsh environment. Okay, so plants and animals can naturally act as the shelter, and they can protect the land, crops and soil from the harsh environment, that is from the harsh environment conditions like the wind, erosion or desertification. Now how plant act as shelter belt? Let us see the first one, how it is going to protect the this environment, protect the land, crops and soil. So tall and dense rows of trees or shrubs reduce wind speed, and thus preventing soil erosion and protecting the crops, right? So in this way plant act as a shelter belt. So if tall and dense rows of trees are there, then what happens? They just reduce the wind speed, and in this way soil erosion is protected, and thus the crop is protected. Plant roots bind the soil, preventing it from being blown or washed away by wind and rain. Large trees protect young crops or plants from harsh sun or strong winds, creating a more favorable microclimate. So in this way what happened? Large trees used to protect the young crops, and they just allow the limited sunlight and the wind to be there for them, just becoming a favorable climate for them, right? In desert areas, thorny bushes or grasses trap moving sand and stopping the spread of desert. So in this way plants act as a shelter belt, right? Next, how animals act as indirectly as a shelter belt. So animals support the shelter belt system. Burrowing animals like the rabbits help aerate the soil, making it healthier for plants to grow and act as a natural barrier. So indirectly plants are also just, they are acting as the shelter belt. And here burrowing animals, whenever they just burrow the land or the soil, then what happen? It make it aerate. Okay, air used to pass through it and make it healthier for plants to grow and act as a natural barrier. Animals like bird, insect and squirrels spread seeds, helping more plants grow, which can become a part of a shelter belt. And animals living in shelter belt maintain biodiversity and help the ecosystem stay balanced, supporting the plant health, right? So in this way, animal also act as an shelter belt, but indirectly they just act, right? So this is about a shelter belt, right? Let us proceed. Next question is, how animals, big or small, help in maintaining balance in ecosystem? So all animals play a vital role in keeping the ecosystem balanced and healthy. They interact with plants, other animals and the environment to maintain the natural cycle of life. Now, how these animals help in maintaining balance in ecosystem? So there are some processes through which they help to maintain the balance in ecosystem. So first is the pollination. Bees, butterflies, birds help pollinate flowers, which is essential for plant reproduction. This leads to fruit and seed production, supporting plant life and food chains. See, so through the process of pollination, they are maintaining the ecosystem, right? These animals, big or small. Then decomposers and scavengers. So insects like ant, earthworm, vultures and other decompose break down dead plants and animals. They return nutrients to the soil, making it fertile and supporting plant growth. Then predators control population. Carnivores like tigers, lions, foxes keep the population of herbivores in check. These prevent overgrazing and maintain balance between the plant and animal life. Then food chain and food web support also. Animals are part of food chains, that is they are producer, the plants, consumers, herbivores and carnivores and decomposers. So in this way also they help in maintaining the balance in ecosystem. Seed dispersal. Birds, monkeys, squirrels and other animals eat fruits and spread seeds through their droppings. This helps plant grow in new areas and maintain forest cover. So see how these animals, either they are big or small, but they help in maintaining the balance in ecosystem. And here it has been explained in a detailed way, like the process of pollination, then decomposers and scavengers, then predator control population, food chain and food web support and seed dispersal, right? So this is how animals help in maintaining balance in ecosystem. Let us proceed. Now next question is, on what does the growth of vegetation depend? So vegetation growth depends on climate, that is temperature, rainfall and sunlight, soil type, landforms, that is the topography, and availability of water, natural conditions like wind and disaster. So all these matter a lot whenever we are talking about the growth of vegetation, right? So the vegetations are depends on following the features. All these things are there where this vegetation used to depend. Now, how major vegetation types of world are grouped? So, what are the major vegetation types of the world that are grouped? Okay, let us see. So, natural vegetation across the world is grouped based on climate, soil and location. These groups are known as vegetation zone or type of natural vegetation. So, the first one is forest. Here also we will see four type of forest, that is a tropical evergreen forest. These are dense, tall trees, remain green all year. Tropical deciduous forests shed leaves in dry season. Temperate forests, trees like oak, maple and they are in distinct seasons. Coniferous forest, corn bearing trees like the pine, fir and found in cold areas, right? So this is the first type of vegetation, that is forest. Second is the grassland. So here also tropical grassland and temperate grassland is there. Tropical grassland means hot climate and it is found in Africa. And temperate grassland, that is cooler climate, this type of grassland is found. And example, prairies in North America, right? So second vegetation type is grassland. Third is desert vegetation. These are found in areas with very low rainfall, extreme temperature, and here we will find the plants like cactus, thorny bushes with adaptation to store water. And last vegetation is the tundra vegetation, that is found in very cold region like in the Arctic Circle, and vegetation is very low, mosses, lichens and short grasses you will find here, and ground is often frozen, right? So these are the four types of vegetation of the world and that are grouped, that is the first forest, grassland, desert and tundra vegetation. Now next is, what are the causes of loss of natural habitat for the plant and animals? changes of climate and human interference causes the loss of natural habitat for the plants and animals. So as we see, there is a change of climate also and human interfere also, so that became a reason for the loss of natural habitat for the plants and animals, right? Next, why animals are poached? So the animals are poached for collections and illegal trade of hides, skins, nails, teeth, horns as well as feathers, right? So for this reason animals are poached. Exotic animals like the parrots, turtles are captured and sold illegally as a pet. That is, for pet trade also they are poached. In some cultures, parts of animals are believed to have healing powers, that is for traditional medicine. For these reasons also the animals are illegally captured and then killed. Okay. Then what are the effects of poaching? So it leads to the extinction of endangered species and disrupts the ecosystem and food chains. Not only this, it also causes the loss of biodiversity, right? So this is why animals are poaching, what is the reason behind it, and what is the effects of poaching also. Now, what is the solution? How we are going to save or we are going to stop this poaching? Then strict wildlife protection laws should be maintained, and it is maintained by the government also. It has been just implemented also. Creating wildlife sanctuaries and natural parks, and educating people about the importance of animals and biodiversity. Okay, so in this way we can save animals. Now last question is, why saving resources from depletion is important? So resources are limited. Most natural resources like the fossil fuels, minerals, fresh water and fertile soil are non-renewable or take millions of years to form. Resources like water, air, soil, forest and wildlife are essential for life. That's why also we used to and we need to save these resources from depletion. Then loss of forest, wildlife, rivers and soil causes climate change, and in this way we see the loss of biodiversity and natural disasters like floods and droughts are common. So that's why also we should save resources. Then how we can save resources? By using them wisely and carefully. Awareness programs like social forestry and Van Mahotsav should be encouraged at the regional and community level. Recycle and reuse. Switch to renewable resources like the solar and wind energy, and avoid wastage and pollution. So in this way we can save our environment also and resources from depleting it, right? So this was the final topic, that is the natural vegetation and the wildlife resources. We have covered each and everything regarding the conservation of wildlife resources also. So this much for this video. We have covered the topic land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources.